I went to the Junior Worlds in 2013, so I was 14 at the time, and went there for experience with the French. Didn't really expect much, and I remember I was at the top, and I just skied it, have fun, and I was like, oh, I'm qualified for the finals. So they took top 16, and I just about qualified, I think, like 14th or something. And then they took top 12, and I just qualified 12th. I was like, whoa, this is going really well. And then it was top 6, and I didn't really expect much. And then I was like, oh, you're 6, you just got through. And I was like, what is going on? And then round by round, I was like just doing like really good runs. And then I finished up second. So vice junior world champion at that age was just a massive confident boost, and it was just wasn't expecting it. My dad was at the bottom, so it was really nice that he was there to watch, and he gave me a massive hug, and he was like tearing up, and it was really good. I went to my first European Cup in France in La Rosière. Unfortunately, on the first day of singles, the day before, we got some bad news, and I found out that one of my teammates in Châtel passed away in a skiing accident, and he was like 18, so that was really traumatizing. So I didn't race the next day because I wanted to go to the funeral and like see everyone that knew him and be with them, be with my family. But then I had to decide on if I was going to race again the next day. I decided that I wanted to race for him. So I drove all the way back to La Rosière with the team. Some people don't really believe in this kind of stuff, so it might sound weird, but I could feel really like his strength, and I was like, he's with me, I'm going to do this for him. And I won, and I just like dedicated a victory to him. It was just really nice to from such a low to like the next day be on such a high was just, it was amazing. Obviously, making the games this year was just unbelievable. I mean, I really wasn't expecting it. Just before World Champs, I fell in training and displaced my collarbone, and it was quite bad, so I had to have surgery, and I had a plate and 10 screws put in. I was just about building my confidence up to back where it was last year, the beginning of the year, before I injured myself. And I fell just before the World Cup in France in December, so 2 months before the games. And I fell straight on my collarbone again, and I was like, oh no, this it's broke again. It was so painful. I was like, oh no, like there's screws and everything in there, what am I going to do? Had an x-ray and it came back clear. I just had a grade 2 sprain of my AC joint, but that was like, what I'm coming to is, it felt like my confidence just went back down to 0, and I had to build that up. I was time limited because there was obviously the games coming up, and I needed to qualify. And I had 2 weeks in Christmas to get strong before the next race. And 2 weeks was very like time limited. I got back on my skis just before flying to Canada, and I got to Canada and I still wasn't sure if I was going to compete because my shoulder was still painful, and I'm still going through this phase of getting my confidence back. I didn't want to fall on it again, and I ended up racing, but I looked at it in a different way, and I was just like, you're back on skis already, this is brilliant. And I got my best result there. I ended up 24th, I think, in that race, and then I went to Deer Valley, got another top 30, and so flew back. I flew back, and the next day I got the phone call telling me that I was selected for Beijing. So that was just, it was like, when I got that phone call, I didn't even know what to say. I was speechless. I was like, whoa. When I first did my ACL, it was my first big injury in 2014. So I was literally, 15, 14 years old at the time. So it was a really young age. You're in a wheelchair, for the first couple of weeks, and then on crutches, and you've got your other like friends competing, and you're stuck on a bed, not be able to do anything. You feel really lonely, and you know, and then you've got schoolwork to catch up on because you're missing school, all these different things. You're missing home, you're missing family. What I was really lucky with is my mum the first week drove every day to see me, and I mean, how lucky am I for that? She drove 4 hours like to see me every day to help me. When I did my ACL again, it was like, okay, you know, I love art. I'm gonna get into art, or I'm gonna switch off, and I'm not gonna look at what anyone else is doing compete-wise. And then I also went to another rehab centre in the south of France, where there's the beach and the sea. You know, not at all taking the mountains and snow away, and that's a massive, like, you know, breather, if I can say. You're just fresh air, and you get to meet top athletes as well. So I was a bit shy, still am, but I was like, wow, this is an opportunity. You know, I'm meeting top athletes here. Like, whoever gets the time to go and chat to athletes that are going through something you are. I broke my back in 2018, so this was a big one where I felt really lonely, coming back to how I was feeling. And there wasn't a position where I was comfortable when I broke my back. I had a brace on. Laying down for too long, my back ached. Standing up for too long, my back ached. Sitting down for too long, my back ached. And it was really frustrating, and I got zero sleep at night. So I was spending most of my nights up when everyone else was asleep, and during the day I was trying to catch up with my sleep, and that was really tough. So what I got doing there is I had a physio, that his wife was also a physio, but massive into Pilates. So I was having I had a Pilates set up program that I could do every day to try and keep that core activated. And then I was allowed to walk, so I went on walks with my mum along the river. One of my mum's friends bought me a Rubik's Cube, and I did not know how to use it. And this was the big thing. It was like, oh, I can't do this. This is really doing my head in. This is not helping me. And then a teammate of mine came to stay at ours, and he like, I remember it was messed up. And the next day I saw it, and I was like, who just solved this? Because I can't do it. None of in our family, no one can do it. So I was like, Will, did you just do this? And then he was like, yeah, I can do that. And I was like, okay, write it down, tell me how you do it. So I was learning that, and it was like getting your brain to work in different ways and switch off. And you know, because that's another thing. When you get lonely and down when you can't ski, and you think and you overthink, and like, I'm a massive overthinker, and it's trying to find ways of actually, you know, keeping your brain activated and not thinking about the negatives and turning it into positives. First of all, don't be on your own. You know, you need to speak to whoever you trust, if that's your family, friends, partner, yeah, anyone they trust, to speak to them and tell them how they're feeling. Looking at anything that can help them while they've got all these thoughts, or when they're feeling down, to feel like they're actually doing something productive. If that's learning a new language, an instrument, something, yeah, anything new, doing a course. It could be in anything. It doesn't have to be a course it can be a course in something they like. If it's, I don't know, they might like history, they might like sports science. They can, you know, there's loads of courses on internet you can do. Sometimes it's nice to disconnect from social, because it's not always the best thing to be on when you're feeling low. And then also walking in the nature is amazing. Not everyone likes that, but I think it's brilliant for the mind. Meditation, I do it every night before going to bed. Just makes you feel relaxed and have a good night's sleep. And then yoga is another big one for me. I think everyone can needs to be more supple these days. And yoga's a massive, like, you're building on strength, you're building on flexibility, you're building on meditation and getting away. So I think yoga's a brilliant thing to do when you're in your rehab, and yeah, so they would be my tips.